This is Jets at Noon with Cameron Poitras and Jim Toth on 680 CJOB.
Excited for it. It's like you mentioned. We looked at it in the summertime. We thought maybe this would be the direction we were going once Adam got healthy. Certainly lots of things have happened since then. A lot of different injuries. But it's nice to finally see that group. We're one yellow jersey right now away from having our whole group back here. So, knock on wood, we get through tonight. But at the end of the day, it's good to see that middle of the ice. We felt that having those four guys gave us strength through there, and we get to test it tonight.
That's head coach of the Winnipeg Jets, Scott Arniel. He's got his center group together at the morning skate. We'll get into that in just a second here. Jets at Noon brought to you by Wash Method Car Wash, 690 St. Anne's Road. VIP take on the text line to win a VIP car wash from our good friends at Wash Method, 204-780-6868. We'll announce a winner later in the program, which is coming at you live from the Boston Pizza Studio for gourmet pizza and pasta, bringing the team to Boston Pizza. Jim Toth, how are you doing on this fine fall afternoon?
You know what? For a Tuesday, past the middle of November, I'm doing all right.
You know what? My family, we screwed up yesterday.
High of 4.
We had tacos yesterday.
Oh, it's
on Monday.
Tuesday today.
We had tacos last night.
I hope you had a stern talk at home.
Well,
it's Monday.
I have to. It's kind of my fault because we got.
I hope
one of
she had a
these
stern
kids.
talk at home. Cameron, it's Monday.
You can't have my little guy.
What's next? Shots of tequila? It's Monday.
My little guy has a he has a book that he loves.
Which one?
And it's called Dragons Love Tacos. Do you know this one?
No.
Anyways, it's about dragons loving tacos. I mean, it's just a kid's book. It's not like earth-shattering. But we were having tacos yesterday, and he sees the tacos. He recognizes it from the book.
Yeah.
And he wants to eat it. But I'm like, kid, you're 1 year old.
It's Monday, son.
It's Monday.
You're a year old. You should know better.
Eat your quesadilla that I made you.
Tuesday.
I made you this
and
delicious
Dad
quesadilla.
We'll shoot tequila and eat tacos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like the dragons. And he does like a dragon now. He loves dragons. He's into dragons big time.
You know what I did last night?
What?
I helped with the Christmas decorations and trees.
Wow.
On November 17th. Tree. Yeah. November 17th.
Wow. Whoa.
Now, that being said.
Not multiple trees,
it's
Jim? Why only
majestic.
one?
No. Well, so I don't know. People can weigh in on that. I mean, who's gonna listen to the game tonight or watch it off Christmas tree lights?
Yeah.
Because it's very majestic, but it's also November, so it's interesting.
Yeah.
But if there's one thing I learned, Cameron, you do what you're told.
Yeah, my buddy Lyndon put his up not this weekend, but the weekend before. Already put his tree up. And he got roasted by the group chat.
The Start had a listener who said right after Halloween, the 31st, boom, out came the Christmas.
Well, how long does that person keep it around then for?
I don't know.
Because I'm of the opinion right after New Year's it's out the door.
January 2nd.
January 2nd
coming down.
Yeah. No, it depends. If it extends into a weekend, as soon as that weekend's over and you go back to work, like if it's the 4th at the latest, it's got to go.
It's got to come down.
It's got to go, yeah.
And maybe that's why January sucks.
I gave up my tree, Jim, for a menorah, so that's where I am right now. That's where my life is. So.
David Lee Roth lights the menorah.
Hey, on the 8th day, it looks
how long
beautiful.
do you leave the menorah up for?
Well, 8 days.
But then it comes down?
You do one candle. Well, you do technically two candles because you have the middle one in each time. And then you do the first, and then you go through them. Now, ultimately, at the end of the day...
But can you leave it out, or is that like not... Is that frowned upon?
No. Listen, if you go to any Jewish home in anywhere in the entire planet, believe me, they have Hanukkah at some point, somewhere, that it's out on a display.
So we'll leave it to our listeners.
Yeah, so you leave the Hanukkah up all year, yeah.
In the hockey,
You know what? I'm urging you as well, put a Hanukkah up.
Leave your Christmas...
Find a Hanukkah, find a Hanukkah, find the menorah. Put it up in your home this year. Just do it.
Leave all that up and
light some candles.
Leave your holiday decorations or your Christmas tree up as well throughout the month of January, and then we'll revisit this February 1st and go, did you have a better January? Because January is that month, right?
Yeah.
Maybe what we just need is some different lighting. So we'll find out.
It's the Festival of Lights.
The Festival of Lights. The menorah and your Christmas tree, leave it up until Feb 1st, at least this year, and we'll see if we're all in a better mood.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so the morning...
You're welcome, and happy holidays from Jets at Noon.
That's right. Chag Sameach and Merry Christmas. Jets versus the Columbus Blue Jackets, 7 o'clock. Yes. Game. They had a morning skate today at 10:30. Here was the line rushes. Connor Scheifele, Velarde, Nemestikov, Taves, Perfetti, Niederreiter, Lowry, Iafallo, Pearson, Barron, Nemestikov, Kepke is the 13th forward. Morrissey, DeMello are your defensive lines. Sandberg and Pionk, and then Stanley and Shen. Fleury still in non-contact, still in concussion protocol, and so the eighth defenseman is Colin Miller. Comrie was taking warm-up shots from Dylan Sandberg in the starters net, so we'll see if that leads to Comrie getting the call tonight against Columbus. And then Fleury was on the ice in a non-contact. So looks like Comrie's going to be getting the start in net tonight. And of course, the Winnipeg Jets yesterday, and I want to get your thoughts on this, Jim, because this happened after the show. Jets have activated forward Morgan Barron and Cole Kepke from injured reserve. The Jets have also loaned forward Nikita Chibrikov, Parker Ford, and Brad Lambert to the Manitoba Moose. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think it makes sense, and I like it. I thought Lambert and Chibrikov showed well, but not well enough to stay in the lineup. I don't think they're there yet. And I said this a couple games ago with Ford. I really like Ford, and I love his game. And I think he's going to be a regular sooner rather than later. I really do, especially when it comes to,
I agree with that.
Finance. And this is interesting because the cap's going up. So when you look at this fourth line of Pearson, Nyquist, or Kepke, all these names, even Barron, you can afford to spend money there because the cap's going up. I don't think you're going to have to. I think Parker Ford has a spot coming to him, and he's earned that. But he's also made some glaring mistakes the last couple of games. Another one in Calgary. I get it. I'm not harping on him. But
no, it's a part of a player coming into
development. It's a part of a guy who's NHL, 98% ready. And then these mistakes are the things you go back down to the Moose with, continue to work on, and so they don't happen.
Correct.
There's not a rookie that's not going to have turnovers and stuff like that in the National Hockey League. So I just think it's good moves. What I find interesting is Scott Arniel's comments there about this is what we had planned in the summer, this lineup. Now, Nyquist you might have planned on the second line and Nemestikov on the fourth, but regardless, forward core, this is what they planned on. Kepke or Pearson being the extra forward, the rest of the guys in there. Fleury, I think, earned his spot on the team, and it's too bad he's injured right now.
Yeah.
He's played well at times, and at other times he's left me wanting a little bit more. And that I expect as well from a guy who's not young anymore, but got his one-way deal that he was chasing for years to stay in the lineup. So he's in and around it. I'm fascinated now how they go forward with this homestand, and then they have another extensive road trip coming up after these 3 games at home. But if this lineup can stay healthy, this is clearly what Scott Arniel just said to us was on paper what we had planned for the summer. So this is what they kind of wanted to go into battle with every game, and I'm fascinated to see how it goes.
So Chibrikov and Brad Lambert over their initial, they didn't play every night. They came in and out of the lineup. To me, not ready. And if this team is going to be a contender, a true contender, which I think they are right now at this moment. But to take them over the edge, I think they're going to need a top 6 forward.
Well, and I want to ask you this then.
Yeah.
Top 6 center or top 6 winger? Because top 6 wingers are predominantly less expensive and more available.
I think so.
So you're okay with Jonathan Taves and what you've seen so far, understanding that it probably is going to continue to get better.
Yes.
Well.
I mean, and there's always Nemestikov who you can slot into the center role, right? There's always that option there. So I think the center depth is good. You still have Scheifele, Lowry, Taves. Yeah, I mean, is he providing the offense? I don't think there was the expectation he was gonna come in. You have Barron,
10 points in 18 games, and I would argue he could have a few more.
Yeah, and so maybe that'll start coming. It'll start clicking a little bit for him. I just think that I don't know. I think Nikita Chibrikov and Brad Lambert are 2 guys that I think you would move. I don't think you'd move both. But you would certainly move one to find a top 6 forward. Yeah, I would. I'm at that point. I'm not writing any of them off by any stretch of the imagination. But I think we're at that point where it's like these are assets that might develop better in another organization where they'll have a bigger opportunity to get into an NHL lineup. And I think they're more valuable in another team than they are on this team right now.
Well, the one thing I will add to that, Cam, is like So if they're a playoff team, which I think they are, they're picking after the first 15 somewhere.
Yeah.
Could be 20, could be 18, could be 27. So I don't mind moving that first round pick once it's out of the top 15, because the second round, you can still get some stuff done. But your first round picks that are coming are the guys you just mentioned, also Kobe Barlow. The cupboards are more full than I thought they were.
They are.
And I'm not saying they're overflowing. They're not. But you could move a prospect and a first round pick and get somebody here. And like Kevin Cheveldayoff loves to do, maybe somebody with term, maybe a winger that has another year after this. And then you re-sign Taves in the offseason for another 1-year deal. And you sort of have your second line for this year and next year as well. But I would entertain that. I think they really like Chibrikov. I think they're high on Lambert. But to me, if you make that move in the top 6 winger, it's not going to be for Perfetti. It's going to be for that Nemestikov spot. And if you're doing that, that's Lambert's spot, right?
I don't think it's going to be Nyquist.
No, neither do I.
I don't think it's going to be him. I mean, he hasn't scored yet. He's got 5 points over 13 games. I mean, sort of that hope that he was
I don't know if they even re-signed him.
Yeah, I mean, it was sort of the hope that he recaptured what he did in 23-24 when he had 75 points.
And I think the all-round game has been okay. The points haven't been there, but the all-round game has been enough. But my point is
they needed him to stack up points. He didn't need to be a point per game player.
He needed to remain on that second line.
Yeah,
in order to get another 1-year deal here, because they're ready with the Lamberts and the Chibrikovs and all that.
He moved down quick, Jim.
Yes.
They moved him down the lineup very fast. It did not take many games.
So I like him at $3 million for the rest of the year and starting in the lineup.
Absolutely.
I like that.
Yeah, depth guy.
Next year, are you going to re-sign him for another 3.5, or are you going to finally be ready with Lambert or Chibrikov or whoever else? And you're going to be ready, right? Yager, all that stuff.
Yeah. Yager's had a good start with the Moose. He really has.
So I think it's interesting, and I wonder if it's not sooner rather than later. Like, we're in the middle of November. I wonder if December-ish, you want to get somebody in here before the Olympic break in January. But I feel that. But again, we'll see how this goes now that they're healthy. But it's a good thing.
Well, here's another question for you, right? Nikita Chibrikov and Brad Lambert. Right now, Braden Yager's got 8 points over 15 games with the Moose, and I think if Chibrikov or Lambert, they would be going at a higher pace than that. But that's pretty good for a guy in his first year as a pro. I mean, would you consider taking a look at him? I don't know. We'll talk about that perhaps as the show goes on. 204-780-6868, 204-780-6868. I think he'll be playing the whole season with the Moose, though. On the other side, let's come back. Bob McElligott, who is the Blue Jackets play-by-play voice, he'll be joining us after 12:30. We'll tee up this game against the Blue Jackets. There's some great audio from Rob Ray, taking a shot at the Edmonton Oilers. Rob Ray, of course, is the former player, color analyst for the Buffalo Sabres. So we'll have that for you before the show's out. Yeah. Call the Boston Pizza Jets and Noon hotline, open 24/7, 204-780-6800. Boston Pizza coming for lunch every weekday to Boston Pizza. Get a delicious main side and ice cold drink for only $15, only at BP. The NHL apparently is encouraging teams to do this. I'll tell you what it is when we come back.
At noon with Cameron Poitras and Jim Toth on 680 CJOB. This is an article in The Athletic, Jim. Apparently the NHL is encouraging teams to play more color-on-color jersey matchups.
Ask the broadcasters who have to see from the media box the numbers.
So they're going to ruin it. So for those for like the 6 people that have to do it, we need to ruin it for everybody else.
It's hard on the eyes.
Everybody else
like,
seems
so
to be able
the
to
Jets
do it.
blue would be against the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Well, no, you'd wear white against the Blue Jackets. Like
what's color
like every
color?
other team in the world, you just have to make arrangements.
So it would be like the Jets blue versus the Blackhawks red.
Yeah, home team decides what color they want to do it. Maybe do something like, I don't know, like the starting pitcher in baseball always picks the jersey. So I don't know if you do something like that, or I don't know.
Yeah, the pitcher always.
Yeah.
Framber Valdez likes that blue Astros one.
Yeah.
He's not going to be an Astro.
You remember Chris Sale? When he didn't like the jerseys, they were told to why he took scissors to all of them?
That's when the rest of the guys in the room go, I think Chris has got more going on than these jerseys.
Bob McElligott, play-by-play voice for Columbus, will be with us right after this.
Chris has got more in his mind than these jerseys.
With Cameron Poitras and Jim Toth on 680 CJOB.
Jets at noon brought to you by Wash Method Car Wash, 690 St. Anne's Road. VIP take on the text line. Win a VIP car wash from our good friends at Wash Method. 204-780-6868. We'll announce the winner later in the program, which is coming at you live from the Boston Pizza Studio. The gourmet pizza and pasta bring the team to Boston Pizza. Jim, this is a game that the Winnipeg Jets, given the back-to-back here from Columbus, the late-night flight, having to clear customs. I know that they're getting in late, and I don't know if there'd be a huge line at customs, but, I mean, that's another step, getting into their beds. Actually, you know what? We'll ask, we'll ask our guest. Bob would know. Bob McElligott is the play-by-play voice of the Columbus Blue Jackets. Hey, Bob, how are you?
I'm doing well, guys.
What time?
Bob, are you tired today, Bob?
What time did you guys get in at last night?
2:00.
Oh, that's not bad.
Okay.
But still, it's not like the Jets.
That's what time I'm used to going to bed anyway, so it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess
and customs,
so.
was customs a problem?
No, to be honest with you, I think that's the easiest customs clear we've had so far this year. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, then there you go. There you go.
Well, welcome to Winnipeg, then,
Very
Bob.
hospitable, those guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
The reason we're just asking that is because of the schedule, right?
Yeah,
And
this is
how
a
it's
weird.
worked
This is a
out
weird
and-
back-to-back. Yeah.
Yeah, it's well, you know what? We just about a week and a half ago, we just did Edmonton, Seattle back-to-back. So this is not similar, but.
Along the same vein. 5-game point streak here, winners of 4 of 5 for the Columbus Blue Jackets. This team, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Bob, has had some issues with confidence in the past. They haven't lived up to, I think, the potential of the lineup. But it seems like things this early on into the year, I know they're tied for that final playoff spot right now, 22 points, the exact same amount that the Winnipeg Jets have over 19 games. The Jets have only played 18. But where is this team right now in your mind?
Well, you're right. They haven't lived up to the lineup so far. And I think that, in saying that last year, this team missed the playoffs by 2 points, but there were a lot of guys that had career years. So to ask them to repeat that, and a lot of them are young guys, so you hope that they can. But in all honesty, it doesn't just it's just not a given, right? They've got to work at it. So some of them have been slower to get going than other ones have been. But to your point, this is how I look at it. It's 5 games with a point in a row. And when you come up last year 2 points short of a playoff spot, you'll take points however and wherever you can get them. So even though they've had some disappointing losses, the shootout loss to the New York Rangers on Saturday night, the blowing the lead in Edmonton on the last road trip and losing in overtime and having to settle for 1 point, they're still getting that point. So I think I know that's a spin that they have on it as players. They're just trying to accumulate as much as they possibly can.
How would you describe this year's team? Because I think they've taken a step. I think they could be better, but they've been waiting a long time for this young core to sort of pull it together. And Marchenko's been really good this year again. I've always been a fan of Kent Johnston's. Where are they sort of, and how would you describe their play right now?
Well, I mean, Marchenko he's been great. He and Dmitry Voronkov have been the 2 best players consistently night in and night out. It's been a struggle for Sean Monahan here in the first quarter of the season. Kent Johnson, he's had his struggles as well. He was a healthy scratch last week on the road trip, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
The good news is it looked like it kind of woke him up and got him going a bit. Adam Fantilli had a slow start, but now he's playing on that line with Marchenko and Voronkov, and he's really taken off. And now he's on the top power play unit as well, with Johnson struggling. Fantilli's got up there, and he's done a good job. So, look, guys, this year, the Blue Jackets have something that they did not have last year, and that's expectations. I mean, last year, with what happened with Johnny Gaudreau before the season started, they could have been dead last in the league, and everybody would have said, oh, well, that's the way it probably should be, and all the poor Blue Jackets. And they didn't. They took that, and they used that as motivation, and they almost made the postseason. But now nobody's saying, well, if you don't make it, that's still okay. No, now it's not okay because now you were there, and now you showed how good you are, what potential you have. So that's another thing the young players have to deal with is living up to those expectations.
How underrated is Zach Werenski?
Very. I think he's very underrated.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the kind of guy. Werenski and Marchenko, as we go around the league, and especially in the Western Conference where there are people that only get to see them live once a year, a lot of people come to me and say, man, I didn't realize how good that guy is until you watch him play. And those two guys both fall into that category. But Zach, he has that uncanny knack to look like he's just gliding on the ice, like he's not putting effort into anything, but yet he's usually in the right spot to make the play that he has to make. And, his offensive numbers, he too is maybe doesn't have the eye-popping numbers that he put up last year. But, last night Montreal made a mistake. They backed off on him, let him walk in, and it cost him a goal. So he'll do that to you almost every time.
What do you make of the parity in the league? Because I think it's because of teams like Columbus, sort of, 22 points in a wild card spot. This is the first year, and I can see, and I know American Thanksgiving is coming and everything like that. We kind of judge that so heavily, Bob. But I look at both conferences rather, and I just can't remember a time where there's been so many teams that haven't made the playoffs the year previous pushing or in it, and so many veteran teams that are sort of struggling to get some consistency.
Well, I'll tell you, that American Thanksgiving cutoff point, I threw that out the window the year that St. Louis was dead last. What was it, December or January?
I think it was end of December, yeah.
Yeah. So, that American Thanksgiving thing to me, that's gone a long time ago. But to your point, look, I think the parity speaks to the talent that you can get from all over the world right now. And it's like every time expansion comes up, people talk about, you're going to dilute the talent. Well, are you? Because all of a sudden it seems like there's a heck of a lot of good hockey players that are showing up in the National Hockey League. And teams went out and they made moves in the summer, and most of the moves apparently paid off for teams because that's why everybody is close. So, look, this is what the league wants. This is what the league is getting. But that being said, it's going to make it tough. It's going to make it tough for all teams to find a way into the playoffs. And if it stays like this, as you guys know, once the trade deadline rolls around later in the year, you're going to have maybe minimal action because so many people are still going to be in it at that point in time.
Is playoffs what will define this season, Bob, in your mind for the Blue Jackets?
Yes. Yeah. Now, anything less than the playoffs is a disappointment, and it's just not acceptable.
A Jet played last night, right? In net?
Yes.
And did he get hurt at all, or?
No. He's made 5 straight starts. Elvis Versleekens is going to come back and start the game tonight.
Right.
No, nobody got hurt. It's just they were on a rotation for the longest time. They just broke that rotation on the last road trip. So Elvis will get back in there tonight.
Right. Should be a good one then. How do you think they match up right before we let you go with the Jets and what you've seen from the Jets, who just came off a road trip where they went 2-4?
Well, it's going to be interesting, too, because, the Blue Jackets, looking at the schedule in the last while here, played the Rangers on Saturday night. That was a hard game and a grinding game. You get Montreal last night. That thing was wide open. It was like pond hockey through most of the game. I think tonight's going to be more like, the Ranger game. You're going to have to work and you're going to have to grind. And, the fatigue might actually benefit them to play a simpler game here tonight. They've got to. They absolutely, positively have to, because they try to get into some kind of a run and gun. I don't like that here. So it's, I think it'll be a good game. And the Blue Jackets have, last year, winning back-to-backs was a real problem. They have been much better in that situation this year, but that doesn't mean it's not going to be a big challenge tonight against Winnipeg.
Bob McElligott, play-by-play voice for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Bob, always a pleasure. Take care, okay?
Thanks, Bob.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Yeah. Have a great call.
Have a great call.
Yeah, 204-780-6868. Pregame gets going at 5. Puck drop at 7 o'clock. Did you feel like Bob was a little bit standoffish in sort of saying that this team, he sees a lot? He was very honest with us right there about this team. And I went into this conversation thinking, like, listen, I think the Blue Jackets are a pretty dang good team. And I know that he referenced that they had only missed the playoffs by 2 points. But he's still a little bit hesitant about where this team is and what their lineup is and what's been able to contribute.
I think it goes back to your first question with that. Like, we can't overemphasize the Johnny Gaudreau incident and the death.
Yeah.
You just can't. And he mentioned Sean Monahan's having a bad start. I wondered about this year, Cam, because in my experience when grieving death, it's never the first 3 months. That's horrific. It's never the next 3 months.
That's true, yeah.
It's when the dust settles a year later, you're now starting a season again. and you got to dial it up, right? Now, that being said, the other thing about this team is, like Bob, I'm sure, is a little bit impatient. They've been waiting and waiting and waiting, and they've brought in the Patrick Laine's, and they've drafted the Fantillis, and they've done this, and now they have a new head coach. The Mike Babcock incident when they brought him in, and then they had to do a 180, and now they have a new GM last year, and all that they were dealing with that, like
Pierre-Luc Dubois and
everybody always likes to
Panarin
define,
and Bobrovsky. Like there's just this one thing after another.
It's been a decade of this, and everybody kind of waits to pinpoint one thing, but it's not. It's always a combination of things, and this is a team where the combination of things are big things. It's not a bunch of little things. But that being said, they are a really good young team. And I like them. I like Kent Johnson, like I said, who's not having a good year. But they've drafted well enough, and they're at a point now that if they can get some goaltending, that they should push for a playoff spot. And I think that's where they should be. Mm-hmm. They are in one right now.
Yeah.
But I think I fully get it, because a lot of people have told me they've thrown the American Thanksgiving out the window. I just know that the stats are 73 or 74% of the time if you're in at the American Thanksgiving. And Rick Ralph, a former colleague of mine, used to run the numbers, and it takes teams 2 to 3 months to gain 5 points. So if you're out by 3 points, it might take you 3 months.
Look at this year. Look at the standings right now. It's insane. It's insane.
So the Jets, if they lost in Calgary, would be out of the playoffs for the first time this year. The fact that they won in Calgary has them in third in the division. Yeah. So, like, I get a lot of people don't believe in that, but it takes you that long because you need a number of teams to not do well, and you need to do well. And so it's not just what your team does, it's what other factors affect other teams. But that being said, we've all been waiting on this organization, right? Because they're not one that's drafted poorly and not made some significant free agent signings and everything else. This is a team that, like, I don't look at them as, this is a garbage organization that's not doing things. They've always done things and found different ways to try and be good, and they just can't. I mean, they lost a goalie to a fireworks death.
Yeah.
Like, this organization has been put through the ringer, and I think what they need to is just get some consistency and pile up some wins. I do believe this. Dean Evason is the right guy for this.
I agree with that.
I think that he's, if not this year, next year, we'll find out. But I kind of hope it's this year. This organization has been through enough, and it needs some playoff time, but they're young enough and good enough. Honestly, I think they are. I don't know if they have the depth for it, but I don't know. I wish them well. I just wish them well.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
When Patrick Laine said that about them, and Zach Rowinski, when was the last time you heard Zach Rowinski say anything?
Yeah,
and he came forward and said, "We take that to heart because we welcomed him in and we did all this and blah, blah. He was injured a lot and they supported him and never blah, blah, blah." And I know the Patrick Laine I used to know didn't mean it maliciously. He's just a free talker.
Yeah.
And he doesn't, always think things through or he never concerns himself or he never used to about how what he's saying affects other people. So I don't know if it was malicious, but Rowinski and they took it that way, right? I
don't think it was either. And I know that Patrick Laine deals with a lot of things, but he betrayed when he said those things. You got to watch what you say sometimes. And in my estimation, I don't think he meant it maliciously. I think he was just speaking honestly. Either. I don't think he was throwing anybody into the bus. I don't think he was insulting anybody.
But he's not wrong either. When you have an organization that loses this much for this many years, it's a cancer. It sets into you that you're just like, here it is December and we're out of it again. Now you got to play 3 more months.
But he
does set in on losing organizations.
He betrayed those guys in the locker room when he said that. He did.
He probably wasn't wrong about that. But you're saying it to guys like Rowinski who are fighting tooth and nail daily to get this culture better so that come December 31st, they're not going, well, here's another season that's already over.
204-780-6868. Text the show. Also, miss your chance. Get your thoughts on the show today. Call the Boston Pizza Jets and Noon hotline. Open 24/7, 204-780-6800. Boston Pizza coming for lunch every weekday to Boston Pizza. Get a delicious main side and ice cold drink for only $15 only at BP. On the other side, we'll give away that VIP car wash from our good friends at Wash Method. And Rob Ray, the man, the myth, the legend, color analyst for the Sabres, had some choice words to throw at the Edmonton Oilers.
Speaker of truths, that Rob Ray.
Yeah, something like that. We'll be right back. Hey, congratulations to Dino. He's our VIP texter. Winning the VIP car wash from our good friends at
Dino.
Wash Method. 690 St. Anne's Road. Dino says, Jim, you're absolutely right. Trade the late first-round pick at the deadline. Why? Because the Jets have consistently missed on late first-round picks. The only one drafted in the past 10 years that plays consistently in the NHL is Logan Stanley. A 6'7" defenseman is not worthy of a first-round pick. One from Dino. What would you consider to be a late-round pick?
I always say this. If you go in the first round or the seventh, if you play 300 games, scouts and organizations think that's a win. It's not about Pavel Datsyuk, Zetterberg were taken in 7th rounds. Nikita Kucherov was a second rounder. I'm not defending the Jets' prowess. I'm just saying that, predominantly scouts and organizations, if you pick somebody even in the 6th round or the first round, as long as they play 250, 300 games, they find that to be a successful pick.
Okay, so Kyle Connor was 17th overall. Is that a late round pick? Or are we only saying in the back third?
I would say that, yeah. I mean, what's their...
That's a mid-round pick.
What are their first-round picks the last 6 years?
Last 6 years. Let's take a look here. Sasha Boumediene.
Okay,
They didn't have one in 2014. 2023 was Colby Barlow, 18th overall. Boumediene was 28th overall. Brad Lambert in 2022 was 30th. Rucker McGroarty was 14th.
So that's Braden Yager.
Braden Yager, yeah. Chaz Lucius was that was just medical issues.
Injury, yeah.
That's not the team making a bad pick. That's just a guy that was fantastic when he stayed on the ice. Scored at will almost. But struggled there. So, I mean, the point, I guess, taken, Dino, but I don't know if it's entirely true.
You deserve the car wash. It's a great question, but I don't look at those as bad.
Yeah.
I mean, you could look back at, everybody has to keep every draft in context of when they were. And look, I know Alex DeBrincat went in the second round. Everybody's like, oh, the Jets, Alex DeBrincat. They needed a D-man.
I hate that rewriting history.
The D-man,
crap.
I think it was Chikrin who went prior, that's what they were waiting
He went right before Stanley.
And that's why they moved up. They said if they, blah, 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 and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Logan Stanley finally this year is playing fine.
I got to get Rob Ray in here. Yeah. I've been teasing it all day. Here is Rob Ray last night after a Buffalo Sabres crushing of the Edmonton Oilers. The Oilers at this point had an empty net, and here was what Rob Ray had to say.
Empty net. Sorry, Rob.
Go ahead.
Yeah, empty net for Edmonton.
Yeah, it has been most of the night, so it's a difference. But
Rob Ray, teller of truth. Skinner was in net last night.
Well, yeah.
Oiler fans are going to text.
Yeah. 23 stops, 27 shots against.
2 were power play goals. I know that.
No, they weren't.
He had 2 power play goals against them, didn't he?
Last night?
Skinner, yeah.
There was only one. Only one power play goal. There was an empty netter by Tage Thompson.
Tage. Don't ask Rob about that.
Oh, that's Rob. You told Tage all the way 2 o'clock. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.